President Pro Tem Davis and Commissioners Corzan and Reyes. President Garcia, you do have a quorum at this time. President Garcia, at this time, we do not have any callers on the line. Under general public comment, we also do not have any commentary under the Neighbor Council comment section, and no callers on the line for public comments on any of the items for today's agenda.
Great, thank you for that, Dr. Campos. Given that there is no public comment is now officially closed. And moving on to the first item of business, which is the approval of the minutes of Friday, July 29, 2022. Is there a second to my motion to move the item forward and forthwith?
Second.
Thank you, Dr. Davis. Dr. Campos, there's a first by me and a second by Dr. Davis to approve the minutes of Friday, July 29, 2022.
Absolutely. We'll start the voting tabulation now. We'll start with you, Madam President.
Aye.
Vice President Villegas.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Davis.
Davis, aye.
Commissioner Corzan.
Aye.
And Commissioner Reyes.
Aye.
This motion is adopted and carries unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, colleagues, starting on item number 1 today. Happy Friday to everyone. Welcome. Yay. We're halfway through summer. And a month from now, it's going to be past Labor Day, and we're getting into fall. You all believe that already.
Wow, time passes, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's going faster than I remember. Okay, everyone. So moving on to item number 1. This is in Council District 4. It's a sole source task order solicitation number 25 to Somas and Associates for a pre-qualified on-call consultant list for Cesar Chavez Recreation Center street improvements projects. Recommending the board to 1, authorize the city engineer to issue a sole source task order to Somas and Associates from the 2019 pre-qualified on-call civil engineering services consultants list to provide civil engineering services for the Cesar Chavez Recreation Center street improvement project with a budget authority not to exceed $167,000, including contingency. And 2, rescind the Bureau of Engineering report number 3 and adopt October 27, 2020, authorizing the increase in budget authority to task order number 59 to Somas. And who do we have here today from the Bureau of Engineering? Is that you, Noor?
Yes.
All right, Noor. Good morning.
Bureau of Engineering. Good morning, everybody.
Welcome.
So, on December 10, 2008, the board approved the pre-qualified on-call civil engineering services consultant list, which included contract with SOMAS under C115226. Now, this contract eventually expired March 17, 2020, but on August 30th, 2019, the board approved the new PQOC civil engineering services list, which was executed on October 23rd, 2019, which includes SOMAS under a new contract number. And BOE recommends sole sourcing the remaining work for this task order using the new contract for civil engineering services executed on this date. So the reason for which is that SOMAS has extensive knowledge and history of the work completed to date and soliciting new proposals at this time and selecting new consultants and transferring that knowledge and history of the project to a new consultant is not the best interest of the city and will significantly impact the budget and schedule for the delivery of the respective project. And on February 19, 2020, the board adopted board report number 1, already authorizing the city engineer to issue a sole source task order to SOMAS for the design of the project. The scope of this project, the Sheldon Arleta street improvements, is improving the 4 streets surrounding the Sheldon Arleta Park, also known as the Cesar Chavez Recreation Center. And the improvements consist of street widening, new curbs, gutters, sidewalks, street lights, street trees, signal work, and is required by the Department of Transportation, Bureau of Street Lighting, Bureau of Street Services, and also the Street Improvement Division from the Bureau of Engineering. The 4 streets receiving improvements are Sheldon Street, Arleta Avenue, Wick Street, and Sharp Street. On October 27, 2020, the board adopted board report number 3, authorizing the increase of the budget authority from $279,000 to $442,300. Since this board report was adopted, the BOE needed to modify the scope of work as noted in the report. And as such, we are requesting that the board rescind board report number 3 adopted on October 27, 2020 and replace it with this board report that you're hearing today and be approved. As the project moved forward toward the latter part of the design phase, it was determined that the project had to undergo a series of revisions regarding curb ramp design, plan reformatting, street tree protection, as well as additional electrical work. And for this work, SOMAS has proposed to perform in the amount of $127,000, including $11,500 for reimbursable expenses. And we think that the cost is reasonable in line with our own estimate. Now, in terms of the business inclusion program, the MEB, SOMAS is proposing a MEB level of 13.42%, a WEB participation level of 0%, an SBE participation level of 14.57%, an EBE participation level of 2.36%, and a DVBE participation level of 0%. Due to the limited scope of work, SOMAS was not able to meet the goals for WEB, SBE, EBE, or DVBE. That is the end of my oral report.
Okay, thank you, Nur, for that thorough report. Are there any questions, colleagues?
Yes.
Dr. Davis.
Yeah, I just wanted some clarity here. So we're asking to rescind the prior motion that we passed on October 27th of 2020 that required there to be an increase. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Now, what was the increase?
The increase was for originally a different scope. It was to do electrical design work for the area inside the park and on the streets. And that was for a cost of about $179,000. But since that time, the scope has been re-examined, and it was just going to be a design build scope of electrical work, and the amount of electrical work was reduced.
Oh, I see. So it was reduced to 167 versus 170 something.
Yes, it was reduced, and it's actually a different type of scope. Yes, that was part of the reduction, but this board report addresses different issues or more issues than what was on the prior report that was rescinded.
Now, you said that SOMAS had done prior work on this particular project. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And you said that you prefer this to be a sole source because SOMAS has the knowledge and the skills distinguished from other potential people who could do the job because they had been doing the work before, correct?
That is correct.
And so you're suggesting that by doing a sole source, that SOMAS would help us to do what? Save time?
It would save time. It would save a lot of the re-examining and reperforming of the documents because the original task order was a sole source to begin with, and the issue really is that the contract they were under has expired, and we had to transfer their task to this new PQOC list, and we wanted to make sure that we just transferred that same SOMAS in itself instead of basically releasing documents that are pretty much almost there and having another person come and take the documents, re-examine them, and redesign them. It's just at this point, in terms of the budget and schedule and the issue that we want to get this project out to construction as soon as practical, it just made the most economic sense.
In terms of business inclusion, in terms of the prior project or this very same project that SOMAS was involved in, what kind of achievements did we observe that they were able to get done on the project as far as business inclusion is concerned prior to this particular last leg of the project?
I believe on the last leg of the project, they were able to achieve an SBE, MBE level of 14.8%.
Mm-hmm.
And that was from KOA, one of the subs. And then there was a landscape architect, which I believe I have to verify this, but I believe that they were a WEB of 12.5%. But I need to verify if that was the case.
So it would be safe to say conceptually that the first phase of the project presented more opportunities for business inclusion than this last leg of the project does.
Well, with this leg of the project, in terms of the actual, we do have new sub-consultants for this leg of the project, which we added in, which was Lynn Consulting and EPT Consulting.
Mm-hmm.
And Lynn Consulting was a MEB, SBE, and EBE. So
Mhm.
they were all three, and they were we pledged $3,000, which is a small amount in the grand scheme of things. But we do have more inclusion for this leg. Because
Oh, do
added-
we?
Yes,
Do we?
we added in a new sub. So we do have, so Lynn Consulting is now in this leg, in this report for continuation, and they are a pledged MBE, SBE, and EBE.
Great. Now, obviously, we want to do as much as we can while we can on every project. The funding for this project, is it a federally funded project or locally funded project?
This is actually a locally funded project.
I see. Okay. And what is it that we anticipate in terms of the timeline of this leg of the project? What's the
Well-
time?
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're hoping to actually finish this project in terms of the construction by June of 2000 or by, I would say, fall of 2023.
Okay.
So we're about to go to construction, actually.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
So I guess to clarify too on that, so 3 of the 4 streets are going to go into construction, and one of the streets will have to be, it's still in design, and will go into construction at a later time.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Davis. Any other questions, commissioners? Hearing none. Are there any other concerns? Is there a motion on the table to move item number 1 forward?
I just have a general comment. And my comment is about the process. And it's because this is a contract that has changed, or a task order that the scope has changed. Isn't it better to start a new task order rather than replacing it and giving the justification that there is urgency, it cannot be done by, and the knowledge transfer and all that? I think the point that I'm trying to make here is that there should be more advanced planning in terms of the timing and the scheduling that we should have foreseen, so that we don't go into this very convoluted, complicated replacement of the contract, and then justifying it as being approved by the board, and then the scope has changed. So it's just confusing to me, but I do understand, the ultimate outcome that this is going to achieve. I just want to make sure that we take a look or revisit the process in such a way that it's clearer and more sort of like really related to the scope. That is, if the scope has changed, then we can start anew an issue, whatever that is that we're supposed to be issuing in terms of the task order. I'm the newbie here, but I'm really confused about sort of like replacement of a contract, achieving this thing, and it's not in the best interest of the city, that we should not be sole sourcing this one. But I just want to just put that on record so that the BOE folks and contract administration could take a look at this back and forth that that I've been noticing, right, on this when we do approve those contracts. I understand the justification. I understand that it is urgent, but the process itself will really take advanced planning on our side, on your side, so that then we don't have to go into this convoluted process.
I think to make a comment on that, with the scope change, it was actually a minor scope change. It wasn't a major one. I think if it was a major one, it would go out, of course, to all the different consultants again for this one. And of course, I agree with you. There should be, in terms of the expiration of the contracts and lining things up, I think that more advanced planning would have been prudent.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Commissioner Reyes. Nur, perhaps, did you mention what sparked the change on this?
Yes.
Maybe that will give some clarity.
Yeah, so what sparked the change for this project was we had a curb ramp provisions. So there was 4 issues. Curb ramp provisions. So during the latter part of the construction document phase, Street Improvement Division determined that the curb ramps must be constructed at the opposite sides of the existing street intersections. And we had to, change the design to do this work. Other ones were plan reformatting because they were, we had to, redesign or at least reformat those plans after additional plan checks were done by the different agencies that reviewed the plans. And another one, which is one of the streets for Sheldon, which was I was mentioning earlier, Sheldon Street cannot go into construction right now because we are currently doing a redesign, for this. And the reason why is because initially the plans called out for the removal of 21 trees. But then after further discussion internally with Bureau of Street Services and the sensitivity of tree removal, we wanted to keep the trees remaining the same. So we had to do a redesign of what that project or what that street is. So and we have to get it re-permitted and re-planned. And then we're going to bid that project out later when those plans end up getting approved. And the other one is just added electrical design support for the project, for some of the electrical elements. And that's the scope that has changed. The original scope of what the TOS pulled out for, of just doing street improvements and widening for those 4 streets, really remained the same. But because of all the things that have happened in the interim during the design process, which are typical normal things that happen, we have to increase the budget authority. So it's all within the same footprint, all within, pretty much the same scope.
I had a question, Madam President.
Sure, Davis.
Has it been your experience that oftentimes when we change the scope, that creates an environment for us to extend an opportunity for others to be considered for a certain job?
No?
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, was it for
It was
que-
for you.
Yeah, question for you. I said, has it been your experience that when we change the scope in a certain TOS, that creates an environment for an opportunity to extend the chance for another contractor to also be able to get work?
Yes, I think it should extend that opportunity when the scope changes.
Okay. So definitely that would be the concern, that sometimes there may be situations where many of our contractors are so competent that they can come on in and get the supplemental work done and complete it in a timely manner, particularly when you're dealing with a high performance group. Now, we would believe that when we have these lists, that this list is a list of high performing prime contractors. So if that is true, that this is a high performing group, more than likely it would also be true that anyone from that list could come in and get it done. So that's something to think about.
Well, that is true.
And so, we theoretically would like to have work available for everybody to get some action, if you will, whenever we can. I'm not saying that we don't want to expedite the efficiency and the effectiveness of projects by being able to consolidate the time by having one company to do it because they know everything, on one hand. But on the other hand, we also want to look at the various opportunities for employment that we are managing and making sure that it's equally distributed to the best of our ability so that others can get opportunities to work. We want to keep a very vibrant working environment of prime contractors so each of them can get an opportunity to play. And so I think some of the questions that the Commissioner Reyes was asking really kind of speaks to our philosophy about how we manage that moving forward. So I don't want to beat you up on this, but this is the spirit of what we feel that we want to achieve and the vision of what we believe the leaders in the city would like to see.
No, I appreciate your comments, and I agree with you all on that.
Thank you, Dr. Davis. Commissioner Corson.
I hit raise hand again instead of unmute, sorry. Just for clarity, Friday mornings. This contract was already given to SOMAS, and because we created the new, and the PQOC was expiring, we are extending them a second toss to fall under that, and it looks like it's less funding than before, right? So it's not like we're selecting a new firm, we're just continuing with the same one, but with a newer contract.
That is exactly correct.
I just wanted to clarify, because I do agree with Commissioner Reyes and Commissioner Davis. I just think, like, on this one, though, I feel like we did the right thing, and as being one of the ones who usually joins Commissioner Reyes and criticizing or raising issues with the on-call list, I felt like, what did I miss on this one? But I feel like we not only were fortunate to have SOMAS, seems like, take less than what was initially funded, but to continue on with the work under the new contract, which I think had a little bit more, I forget the details, but it had a little bit more of the causes that we care about the most when it comes to local hire issues and things like that. So I feel like this was a win all around.
That sounds like a motion, Madam President.
And I just want to remind everyone that it's 167,000 that we're talking about. Go ahead, Nur. Sorry, Commissioner Person, were you
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, so what Commissioner Corson indicated is correct. It's basically an issue of, if the contracts didn't expire, we would only go to board to increase the authority and not to transfer the toss. And that's really what the issue was. It's not that we're adding something completely new to the project. It's more of a transfer. Just for clarity.
Sorry about that. I was talking to myself. I think I heard a motion from Commissioner Person to move item number 1 forward. Commissioner Corson, I don't see any reaction.
That is correct. Sorry. See, Fridays. We're
I was waiting for a nod, a smile at least.
yes.
Okay, got it. So just to clarify, this was sparked Nur, if I'm based on what you briefed me on, it was sparked because we had to also fix the crossing ADA, right? The sidewalk across from what our original scope was, which was just the surrounding streets around the park. Because of the new sidewalk repair, we now have to fix all 4 of the ADA that would basically lead on to the streets that we're fixing.
That is correct. So we're doing curb ramp revisions to the scope. So the scope was supposed to be a certain way going through design to construction. But during the process of us going through the design documents and plan review, we had to revise the curb ramps. We had to also reformat the plans and do some additional corrections beyond what the anticipated scope was. And also we had to redesign one of the streets, because the original scope was to remove 21 trees. And after we did that design work to the construction, it was decided, for environmentally friendly reasons, let's keep the trees there. And we just did a redesign around it. And we have to redo those. We have to redo Sheldon Street.
Yeah.
So that's really what it is. If those things didn't exist, if we didn't have to do those things and the contract did not expire, then we wouldn't need to go to board to, renew this, transfer the TOS to another contract or increase budget authority.
Correct. And I just want to thank you, the Bureau of Engineering, for taking into consideration 21 trees that we are not going to remove anymore, because that would have been a shame for especially that area that is always so hot and just needs all the trees that we can get. On that end, I see that and I know that we have a motion on the table by Commissioner Corson, and we'll second that in a bit. But I see that you have it listed in Council District 4. Is it in Council District 4? I think it's in Council District 6.
It's in
isn't it?
Council District 6. I was going to make a correction on note that the
Okay.
board report had 4. It should say 6.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
It's in Yuri Martinez's district. I was going to save that on record at the end of this.
Oh, okay. But you want to say it now? Because we're about to close on your item.
Yeah, so the corrections to this report is that it says CD number 4. It should be CD number 6.
Got it. Okay.
I'll second that motion.
Thank you, Vice President Villegas. Dr. Campos is the first by Commissioner Corson and a second by Vice President Villegas to move item number 1 forward and forthwith.
Absolutely. We'll start the voting tabulation at this time. We'll start with you, Madam President.
Aye.
Vice President Villegas,
Aye.
President Pro Tem Davis,
Aye.
Commissioner Corzan,
Aye.
and Commissioner Reyes.
Aye.
This motion is adopted and carries unanimous. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, Nur, for your time and for being so good at making sure that we got this item very clear and there was clarity on what we're doing. So thank you for that.
Sure, thank you all.
All right. Have a good rest of the week.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye. All right, colleagues, moving on to item number 2. This is in Council District 14. This is a budget increase for the Los Angeles River Low Flow Diversion Project, recommending the board to, 1, authorize $750,000 in additional contingency and approve an increase in the construction budget from $9,029,790 to $9,779,790. And today we have Mr. Powell from the Bureau of Engineering. Mr. Powell, good morning.
Morning. Thank you, President Garcia.
Welcome.
Again, Brian Powell from the Bureau of Engineering Clean Water Division. And I'm here to request a budget increase for the LA River Low Flow Diversion Construction Contract with Clark Construction. But first, just to provide a bit of background, on July 21st, 2021, the board awarded a construction contract to Clark Contracting Corporation in the amount of $8,208,900 with a construction contingency of $820,890 for a total approved construction budget of $9,029,790. The LA River Low Flow Diversion Project consists of 3 separate locations within CD14. The first being Mission Road beneath the 101 freeway overpass. The second is at the intersection of 2nd and Rose Street. And the third location at the intersection of Palmetto Street and South Santa Fe Avenue. An important note for this project is that it is being constructed to meet a mandate by the Los Angeles Regional Water Quality Control Board to divert stormwater at this location by the March 31st, 2022 deadline. With the implementation of a temporary bypass, which is currently in place, that mandate was met. This project is currently in construction and is estimated to be completed later this winter. However, the project is anticipating additional change orders beyond the existing contingency, which is why we're here to request an increase in our contingency. Just to summarize some of the larger change orders that we are expecting, the Bureau of Engineering coordinated design of the new electrical service with the Department of Water and Power through the design phase. However, due to the DWP's lengthy process and backlog of projects, the DWP was unable to complete the design to meet the BOE's project schedule. The project was bid with partial design of this element for this reason in order to meet the mandate with the regional board. The DWP service plans require that the BOE and its contractor to install all electrical conduit and related facilities, including an additional 100 linear feet of conduit which must be installed within the street, requiring street repair and restoration. Additionally, at the request of Council District 14, traffic control at the Palmetto location was revised to condense the schedule and to allow for two-way traffic at all times. Previously, our traffic control plan only allowed for traffic in one way. This change in the traffic control plan is expected to result in significant change order costs. The Bureau of Engineering is therefore requesting an authority to increase the construction contingency by an additional $750,000 for a total revised construction budget of $9,779,790. To date, there have been 5 change orders issued to date on the project, amounting to 5.1% of the contract amount. The Bureau of Engineering has anticipated that this recommended increase in contingency will be sufficient to complete the remaining work and will take the total amount of contingency up to 19% of the total of the original contract amount. And there is no impact to the general fund. Funds for this increase are available in the Measure W Municipal Fund. That concludes my oral report, and I'm available to take any questions.
Great, thank you, Mr. Poe. Any questions, colleagues? So, I'll ask a question because I know that we kind of hadn't answer a lot of our questions. Mr. Powell, what were some of the reasons that the increase that sparked the increase? I would say I know there's a couple when we listed. Do you mind just kind of going through that?
Sure. So the two larger ones, again, just it was due to DWP. Lately, I think we're seeing a trend that it is taking DWP quite a long time to prepare the designs, but also to initiate construction during our construction contracts. In a perfect world, we would have the design request completed with DWP and include that in the construction drawings prior to advertising the project for bid. However, this project did have a regulatory deadline with the Regional Water Quality Control Board. So it was in our best interest to advertise the project with the partially completed design with DWP. Now, unfortunately, during construction, once that design is completed with DWP, there were some changes to the original partial design, and that's what's initiating the larger change orders. These change orders, because this construction contract has 3 separate locations, this is happening 3 times essentially. So each location has its own power service request, and I think we're anticipating somewhere between $100,000 to $150,000 per site in change orders due to this issue with the DWP power service. Additionally, our second large change order was actually a request from the council, I guess sparked because of a request from Council District 14. These projects are near downtown and near the Arts District area, which is a pretty congested area. And our initial traffic control design at the Palmetto location, I would say, was probably a little conservative. In order to give our contractor the amount of space that required to safely work, we were taking traffic down to 1 lane. It's a street with one lane in each direction, and we were shutting down one of those lanes, so we were limiting traffic to one direction. However, Council District 14, due to taking into consideration the sensitivity of the community and the amount of traffic that this area can get, they pushed us to try to change that traffic control to allow for traffic in 2 directions. And we were able to do that with LADOT. They worked with us to I guess, modify the design and make it a bit less conservative, but it was able to get done. But that did cause a change in the field. So that's the additional change order there.
Okay, and something about doing work. There was a stormwater infrastructure that was discovered. Was that part of this as well?
Yeah, there was. That was a smaller change order, but that is another item included in the report. I believe the North Outfall sewer was identified, and it wasn't in the location where we thought it was on the plans, and so that did require some minor modification to the design and construction in the field. And that was a smaller change order. I think it was up to $50,000.
Okay. So all these different items add up to the $750,000 additional contingency money that you're asking for, right?
Correct.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you for that. That gives us a better explanation of how $750,000 came to this. Vice President Villegas.
Thank you. I just have more of a comment. Glad that Bureau of Engineering is bringing this forward. And I know that this is a mandate, but folks, our consultants have been really agile in helping us just get through this and all of the, I guess, hurdles that they've had to overcome to be able to design a project and actually construct a project that actually is going to comply with the regional board. I just wanted to make that known for the record because it's kind of complicated, but they also work closely, as he's mentioned, with CD14. This is a not too far from the Sixth Street Bridge, and it's right in the Arts District. So there's just a lot of new businesses coming up just open now for business. And so it's not congested, but it is something that cost us just a little bit more time delay.
Definitely. Thank you for that context, Vice President Villegas. Are there any other questions, colleagues? Any objections? Is there a motion? Is there a motion on the table to move item number 2 forward and forthwith?
So moved.
I'll
Thank you.
second.
Thank you, Dr. Davis and Vice President Villegas. Dr. Campos, we have a first by Dr. Davis and a second by VP Villegas to move item number 2 forward and forthwith.
Yes, we'll start the voting tabulation now. We'll start with you, Madam President.
Aye.
Vice President Villegas.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Davis.
Davis, aye.
Commissioner Corzine.
Aye.
And Commissioner Reyes.
Aye.
This motion is adopted and carries unanimous. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Dr. Campos, and thank you, Mr. Powell, for your presentation.
Awesome. Thank you. Have a great weekend.
Sorry, I was on mute again. I was going to ask Mr. Powell if this was your first presentation to the board.
No, actually, in the past, I don't know, 6 months or maybe a year, I've done a few of these.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but maybe the look is just different because I was at home and I didn't have my
Maybe the
mask on.
You're
Yeah.
on incognito now. All right, got it. Well, good job. Thank you for your presentation. Have a good weekend.
Thank you.
All right, moving us on to item number 3. This is in Council District 14. Construction Services Contract Cisco Capital Improvement Project 8701 Air Treatment Facility East Central Interceptor Sewer Mission Road and Jesse Street Rehabilitation Project. Recommending the board to 1, authorize the city engineer to use the Cisco and issue task work orders to be contractor for an amount not to exceed $922,000 for SIP 8701 Air Treatment Facility East Central Interceptor Sewer Mission Road and Jesse Street Rehabilitation Project. And Mr. Shaw is here from the Bureau of Engineering to tell us what are you doing here.
Good morning.
Morning.
Nadir Shah, Bureau of Engineering, Environmental Engineering Division. This board report is for the Capital Improvement Project CIP 8701, Air Treatment Facility ESIS Mission and Jesse Rehabilitation Project, which will be undertaken at 650 South Mission Road. The existing air treatment facility consists of a degreaser, 3 biotrickling filters, 4 carbon scrubbers, a demister, and ancillary equipment with a total design capacity of 12,000 cubic feet per minute of foul air drawn from sewer. Due to the corrosive and abrasive action of trapped grease and leaking sulfuric acid, the concrete beam, structural steel members, degreaser, demister, PVC piping and gratings are severely corroded and cracked and will be rehabilitated under CIP 8701 to provide a safe work area and to improve facility operations. In addition, the programmable logic controller will be reprogrammed to provide automatic control of foul air blowers. The total construction budget for this project is $922,000, which was approved by PRC on May 11, 2022. Due to the high risk of system failure and to provide safe and efficient operating conditions for staff, it is recommended to complete this rehabilitation on an accelerated schedule using Construction Services Contract or Cisco. BOE recommends that the board authorizes the city engineer to use Cisco and issue task work orders to the Cisco contractor for an amount not to exceed $922,000 for the project. This concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Shaw, for that report. Any colleagues, any questions for Mr. Shaw? Being none. Any objections? Hearing none either. Is there a motion on the table to move item number 3 forward and forthwith?
So move.
Thank you, Vice President Villegas. Is there a second?
I second.
Thank you, Commissioner Reyes. Dr. Campos, there's a first by VP Villegas and a second by Commissioner Reyes to move item number 3 forward and forthwith.
Yes, we'll start the voting tabulation now. We'll start with you, Madam President.
Aye.
Vice President Villegas.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Davis. Dr. Davis, you're on mute.
Davis, aye.
Thank you. And Commissioner Corzine
Aye.
and Commissioner Reyes.
Oops. Aye.
Thank you. This motion is adopted and carries unanimous.
Great. Thank you, Dr. Campos. Thank you, Mr. Shaw, for your report this morning. Well, you're ready to go now and have an enjoyable weekend since your item has now passed.
Thank you very much.
All right. Have a good weekend. Thank you, sir. Moving on to item number 4. This is from the Bureau of Sanitation. This is a task order solicitation, SN-113A and SN-113B, Tetra Tech Inc. and Arcadias US Inc., Los Angeles Green Business Program. Recommending the board to 1, authorize the Director of Bureau of Sanitation or designee to award task order SN-113A to Tetra Tech and SN-113B to Arcadis US Inc. from the on-call consulting list. 2, approve a total budget of $1,300,000, including $216,500 in contingency to fund the services to certify and recertify businesses as a Los Angeles Green Business using an established list of sustainability standards from the California Green Business Network. And 3, approve the term of engagement beginning with the notice to proceed date to July 22nd, 2024. And we have Ms. Romano here and Ms. Sabillo here from the Bureau of Sanitation on this item. Good morning. Welcome.
Good morning, President Garcia, Vice President Villegas, Board of Commissioners, Bureau Representatives, Dr. Campos, and City Attorney. Again, my name is Marvick Sabil. I'm here to present on the Green Business Program. So back in 2014, the program was established by issuing a contract with the LA Community College District. What they did was they certified offices, retail locations, and restaurants within the city of Los Angeles. A couple years later, 2 TOS contracts were issued, one to Arts Earth Partnership to certify arts facilities, and then the second one was issued to Green Seal to certify hotels within the city of Los Angeles. So with all 3 of those contractors in place, they certified over 800 businesses within the city of Los Angeles. And in 2019, at the end of fiscal year 2018-19, all 3 contracts ended. So I took over the program at the end of 2019, and when I was taking a look at it, I decided that I wanted to combine all 3. Instead of having 3 different contracts, just having one TOS issued to maybe 1 or 2 different primes. The main reason is because all 3 were using completely different standards of their own. And so when I looked at all 3 in the different standards, I saw that the California Green Business Network were the standards that LACCD was using. And so when the pandemic hit, that I kind of jumped in and started participating with the California Green Business Network, and I became part of their Performance and Standards Committee. So this new contract that will be issued will be using those same standards. And so, restaurants certified in San Francisco will have met the same standards certified in Los Angeles, San Diego, and anywhere that the Green Business Program is within the state of California. So, so we've been doing this virtually, but I've noticed since I've been going to businesses recently in the past few weeks in person, I think I'm excited to get this contract on board. So what these 2 contractors will do, Arcadis and Tetra Tech, will be to help us certify over 300 businesses within the next 2 years. And so right now we're at 829 certified and recertified businesses since the inception of the program, and the Green New Deal requires that we certify and recertify 1,000 businesses by 2025. So by implementing and approving this TOS with Arcadis and Tetra Tech, that will help City of Los Angeles meet those Green New Deal requirements or the goals, and also the goal with with reaching out to businesses within disadvantaged communities, and also focusing on those retail establishments that will serve visitors for the Olympics in 2028. So we are requesting, as was stated by President Garcia, an approval of 1.3 million with a 216,500 contingency to go towards Arcadis and Tetra Tech to help with the certification and recertification of businesses within Los Angeles. And that's all.
That's all. Thank you so much, Ms. Sevilla, for that very thorough report. Colleagues, any questions on this item?
No,
Commissioner-
just some comments I wanted to say. It sounds like,
Give me
sounds
a
like
second.
this.
Dr. Davis, give me a second. I'm going to go with Commissioner Corson.
Oh, I'm sorry,
He
sorry.
raised his hand first before you, and then Vice President Villegas, and then you, Dr. Villegas. Commissioner Corson.
Thank you. I have no questions. I love this program. I've had an opportunity to work with Maravich and the Green Business team on this back in 2021, and it's phenomenal seeing all the businesses participate. And more than that, more than just the program, Maravich really, she does a very thoughtful approach to how to get businesses from different areas of our city who may not know how to access this information, who may not know the benefits of it, and have a language barrier at times. She does an incredible job of trying to identify those regions and finding partners to get the information out so all businesses in the city can benefit from the Green Business Savings programs. So I just wanted to say that on the record. It's a marvelous program. Really glad that we're finding ways to continue it. And I look for ways, and we've been talking about ways where I can continue to play a part in supporting it going forward as well.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Corson. I feel the same about working with you as well. And having the opportunity during the pandemic to be able to meet him and collaborate on this effort.
Thank you for that, Commissioner Corson. Vice President Villegas.
I thank you, and thanks for your report. Echo a little bit of the sentiment that Commissioner Corson mentioned as well. Thanks for doing all this work, especially during the pandemic. Just wanted to know, thanks for being sensitive also to other communities that do not necessarily speak English and reaching out to them. And you mentioned this is all in preparation for Olympics. Is that correct?
That's part of it, yes.
That's part of it. Okay. And wondering, have you been confronted with any Olympic naysayers yet?
Not yet. So the focus of for the Olympics would be, trying to get the hotels, right? More hotel certified breweries, restaurants, any place that a visitor would support. So I think that's where I'm going to focus on there. And again, within the disadvantaged communities.
Okay. And then just if you can clarify, you want the board to approve the term of engagement beginning with July 22nd. Is that right? From now till July 22nd, 2024. Is that right?
That is correct, because that's the end of the on-call contract. I would like it to be longer, but that's when on-call contract happens.
Well, I guess if you're close to that time frame, you can always come back to the board for some extension.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, VP Villegas. Dr. Davis.
Yeah, I had no questions. I just also wanted to compliment Maravich in terms of the presentation of the program. It certainly presents as a progressive and comprehensive program in which we are able to grow our green business efforts. And I think the fact of your inclusiveness of the various challenging communities is very welcoming. And so thank you for a great presentation and a good job on behalf of our contractors who are helping to deliver the work. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Davis. Ms. Savio, do you want to add any more comments?
Can I add one?
Yes. I didn't see your hand up.
I know.
Yes.
Just thank you for the presentation. I've worked with this program when I was in the Mayor's Sustainability Office. It's very productive, and it's also has a lot of impacts on, reduction of emissions and sustainability efforts. My question is on the flexibility side. As we move along, especially with our LA Sanitation and Environment, we're looking into the food waste, right? We're looking into elimination of single-use plastics. We're looking into organics and all that stuff. I would like us to keep an open mind and try to see if those programs can be folded into those businesses that are going to be certified. That will make it easier for our Recicla service providers as well to know that there is such a program and that they could insert those particular programs that we're now going to expand, and also will make it a little bit easier on terms of the outreach and education, because we'll be very much more consistent in our messaging. So I just want to bring that forward and have that in our sort of like framework that we're working on. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Reyes, for that. Ms. Avila, do you want to answer Commissioner Reyes?
Sure, and also with Commissioner Davis. So thank you for those comments, because I am excited because we have a connection with Watts Rising Collaborative, Slate
Right.
Z. We just had a really exciting meeting with them, and then Commissioner Corson connected me with CD3. So looking into Canoga Park and Reseda community. So I'm really excited to start working with these businesses. And then to answer Commissioner Reyes. My connection to Commissioner Reyes is I also worked on the CFRP for 9 years. So recycling is at my heart, and I, did it in college. And so that's part of what I like to train staff there. And then I also worked on the pilot at LAWA for the food waste collection. And so using that experience, I am working with the restaurants and trying to figure out how they can work within Recicla. Because I know that I'm just speaking from personal experience, I know businesses have had difficulty trying to implement an organics program at their restaurants. I just spoke with a yogurt shop last week in person, and so she's trying to figure it out because her her landlord doesn't want to bring in the green bins. And so whether we work with LA Compost, but we have to, I've tried to remind businesses that they have to work within Recicla and not go outside of it. And so yes, that is something that we're working on. And something in addition to that, the California Green Business Network, because of that network, I learned that there's an organization that has some sort of grant funding to provide to businesses to change out their disposables. So I want to help connect businesses to that, so they're getting rid of their disposable utensils and making sure that they are doing the ask only policy where possible. So hopefully that answers your concerns, Commissioner Reyes.
Thank you so much.
Great.
I forgot the CFRP is like, oh yeah, that's an acronym for City Facilities Recycling Program. Thank you, Marivic.
Thank you. This is all great. We love this program, and I'm really happy. And I want you to also continue to consider these, our probably not very high-end businesses, but our businesses within our city. And I really appreciate that you're able to do, multi-language and so forth. Do you provide any webinars or any orientations, like, citywide, so that folks can start learning how they can do this? Perhaps if they're not ready to be green, but they can start taking steps for that.
Yeah, so on a monthly basis, I actually invite businesses. We do a 30-minute intake, and so that I go over the process that we're doing right now. So we've been doing virtually, so now I combine. So the 30-minute intakes are done virtually, and then I know through the California Good Business Network, we've talked about doing webinars for Spanish-speaking communities, and so they're going to do webinars, I think, starting in September, some focusing on just water, one focusing on just electricity and how businesses can start to implement that. But that's specifically for Spanish speaking. So through the network, we're trying to collect funds for other languages like Vietnamese and, other Asian languages or, any other language. And so that's what I've requested through the network. So, because we do pay membership through them, and that's part of our membership is to request, assistance. And so I'm hoping that whether I can go take my cell phone and go into a business and have a translator live. I don't know if that's something that the city offers, but at least I'm trying to reach out through the network for those language opportunities as well for translation.
Okay, I think there's a possibility to do that as well. And also, you might want to, and you probably do this already, advertise your webinars in our RAMP data. A lot of folks, you don't, there's ways to advertise only and not, actually put a bid or an RFP out. So you might want to do that so that you can get, capture more of a bigger audience. Commissioner Corson?
Just because I felt like I needed to pat myself on the back, Maravich and I have been speaking about the board doing a citywide webinar on the program as well. So still working on those details.
All right, well, fine. We'll pat you on the back, Mr. Corson. Yes, but that's perfect. I love that. And whatever way we can bring more awareness to your program, we would love to be part of that, a catalyst for that. So I'm very happy that Commissioner Corson is taking the lead on that. So we look forward to that, Mr. Corson, and I look forward to hearing the webinars and promoting them.
And thank you for that recommendation. I actually didn't think about that because I haven't used REP recently, so I appreciate the recommendation.
Yeah, you can put your webinar information out there. All right. Well, we have to approve your item, and we're so excited with yours. We're not even doing our task here. All right, colleagues. I'm hearing no objections. So, is there a motion on the table to move item number 4 forward and forthwith?
So
Thank you, Commissioner Reyes. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Dr. Davis. Dr. Campos, there's a first by Commissioner Reyes and a second by Dr. Davis to move item number 4 forward and forthwith.
Yes, we'll start the voting tabulations now. We'll start with you, Madam President.
Aye.
Vice President Villegas.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Davis.
Davis, aye.
Commissioner Corzine.
Aye.
And Commissioner Reyes.
aye.
This motion is adopted and carries unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Avio and Ms. Romano, for your time, and have a good weekend.
Thank you. Have a great weekend as well.
Bye-bye. All right, colleagues, moving on to item number 5. This is in our council district. This is an AFE for Black Knight Financial Services, recommending the board. Bureau of Engineering and Office of Accounting are requesting board approval and execution of an authority for expenditure in the amount of $80,340 to encumber funds for annual renewal of subscription license for data transfer services of pre-sorted Los Angeles County deed information. The service includes a continuation of subscription to online land records to document listings for the GIS and Mapping Division of the Bureau of Engineering. This authority is for the period of July 1st, 2022 to June 30th, 2023. Who do we have here? I think we have Mr. Virgen, Raul Virgen.
Well, we have Raul Virgin. Raul, if you can just turn on your video cam for us. Raul, if you can hear us, if you can turn on your video cam for us.
Are you there? You're on mute if you are.
Madam President, while Raul troubleshoots his equipment, if you'd like, we can move on to item number 6 and we can test his equipment.
Okay, let's do that. We'll continue item number 5 for now, since it was on record. And moving on to item number 6, and hopefully Mr. Virgen gets his audio and video back up. All right, moving on to item number 6. This is an administrative item in Council District 7. The mayor and city council have approved and authorized the Board of Public Works on behalf of the Bureau of Sanitation to execute the proposed memorandum of understanding with Discovery Cube Los Angeles as a grantee and pass-through entity for the California Natural Resources Agency state specified grant for Discovery Cube Los Angeles. There are no presenters on this item since it's an administrative item. Is there a second to my motion to move this item forward and forthwith.
Second.
Thank you, VP Villegas. Dr. Campos, there's a first by me and a second by Vice President Villegas to move item number 6 forward and forthwith.
Absolutely. We'll start the voting tabulation now. We'll start with you, Madam President.
Aye.
Vice President Villegas,
Aye.
President Pro Tem Davis,
Davis, aye.
Commissioner Corzine,
Aye.
and Commissioner Reyes.
Aye.
This motion is adopted and carries unanimous. Thank you.
Great, thank you. I see Mr. Vidhen. Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh, there
can
you are.
hear me?
Audio check and video check, all good.
I apologize. I'm having technical issues here, so
Don't
really
worry.
apologize for this. So, good morning, Dr.
Hang on,
Campos.
let me just kind of reintroduce number 5 again. I won't read it into the record, but I just want to make sure we're back. Colleagues, we're back to item number 5. We had a small technical issue by Mr. Vidhen, and he is now joining us live from wherever you are at,
From home. Yeah,
live from home, to
exactly.
present on this item. Welcome.
Thank you. So, good morning, Dr. Campos, board members, President Garcia. As you stated, I'm here to request payment to Black Knight Services for the amount of $80,340 for services provided for the fiscal year 2022-2023 to be paid monthly starting July 1st, 2022 through June 30th, 2023. The monthly breakdown for the annual cost is as follows: $180 for weekly bulk data reports and data transfers, and $515 for the Title Point plant access subscription fee. I'll give you a brief summary of what Black Services, what the services they provide. We receive data on a weekly basis containing the latest changes in property ownership recorded by the Los Angeles County. This data is already formatted. We don't have to do anything to it. So as it comes to us, we upload it to the BOE's Land Use Planning and Management System database. This database, in turn, is what we use to generate mailing lists for upcoming projects, as well as to keep the history of deeds and other records for each property within the city limits. This data is also used by other city departments, such as city planning, building and safety, and they use it to assign permits and to enforce rules, whatever rules they have. BOE is tasked with keeping an accurate record of land transactions as mandated by the Los Angeles Administrative Code. Just to give you an idea how many records we get, on average, we get about 200,000 records per year. If it wasn't for this, we would require a huge, a big division, many staff members to accomplish this. As of now, we only have 4 people working in this section, so this helps a lot. In addition to the bulk data transfers, we also have online access to the title plant. Basically, a title plant is a vault, if you will. It's a place where they keep records of all deeds throughout the history of the city of Los Angeles for each property. We get access to their records. We don't have to go in person to whatever the plant is. I believe it's in San Fernando Valley in the northern part. Or we don't have to go to the Los Angeles County Recorder's Office. It saves us time and, again, let me see. This data, again, like I said before, I stated before, is used by multiple departments. It's available in Navigator Lake if you guys are familiar with it. It's available there. It's a great tool. And just, again, just asking for this money. This is not the first contract. We've been working with this company for, I believe, 7 or 8 contracts. Each contract is about 2 years. So we've been working with them for a while. So again, if you have any questions, let me know. I'm here. So yeah.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Vidhen, for that. Any questions on this item? Dr. Davis.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify, of the $80,000, you say we'll pay it on a monthly fee, something like $6,600 a month kind of thing?
It would be $6,180 for the bulk data and $515 for the access online to their services. Yeah.
Great.
So it's about Yeah, yes, if my math is correct, $6,695 per month.
That's great. And certainly I understand the significance of having this data that will
Yeah.
allow us to not only save time, but to do research that
Exactly.
we might need to do to be more effective in delivering the services that we have in the city. So
Yeah.
I definitely support this data and know that it's very valuable to not only you, but to other departments as well. And we
Exactly, yeah.
all the other city family has access to this if they request it through your office. Is that correct?
That's correct. And we do have actually a portal. We have an application they can access. The data is there, so they can see it. They can print out whatever lists they need of records. So yeah, it's
Sure.
available. Yeah,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for that.
you're welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Davis. Vice President Villegas.
Hello.
Mute though.
Yeah, I noticed that. So I appreciate your report. Thanks for bringing it to our attention. Just wanted to ask, and you mentioned this, other bureaus within Public Works have access to this information?
Real estate, well, yes. Other bureaus have it, and actually other city departments too. We work closely with the real estate division, and they use this data too. I don't want to say on a daily basis because I don't really know, but they use it constantly too. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how do you tell others that you have it, or how do they find out?
They just go to the site, the web application that we have available, or they contact us directly. When they have, if a customer goes to their counter, there's issues with an address or something, and they need to verify ownership. They contact us directly, and then we do the research for them. Yeah.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Thank you.
Yeah. Sure.
Thank you, Vice President Villegas. Any other questions, colleagues? Any objections? Hearing none, is there a motion on the table to move item number 5 forward and forthwith?
So moved.
Thank you, Dr. Davis. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, VP Villegas. Dr. Campos, there's a first by Commissioner Dr. Davis and a second by Vice President Villegas to move item number 5 forward and forthwith.
Absolutely. We'll start the voting tabulation now. We'll start with you, President Garcia,
Aye.
Vice President Villegas,
Aye.
President Pro Tem Davis,
Aye.
Commissioner Corzan,
Aye.
and Commissioner Reyes.
Aye.
This motion is adopted and carries unanimous. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Whitman, for your time, and
Thank you.
look forward to continuing this. This has been a long-standing collaboration with Black Knight, right?
Yes. Yes. Again,
I've seen them.
this is for many years. Right now, they're called Black Knight Services, and they change their name every so often, so I can't keep track of what it used to be called. But yeah, it's been a while. Yeah.
Okay, good. Well, thank you so much. Have a good weekend.
Thank you. You too as well. Bye bye.
Bye-bye. All right, colleagues, that leads us to the end of our voting items. And we just have an oral report from it's the status update on major upcoming street improvements by the Bureau of Street Services. And Mr. Young is here with us today. Good morning, Mr. Young.
Good morning, Ms. Garcia. How are you doing?
Good, good. How are you? Welcome.
All right. Thank you. This information is being provided to keep the public informed on upcoming resurfacing projects to minimize the impact on the community as well as delays to the commuters. Streets LA would like to provide you with an update on all major upcoming street improvement projects. There are no major projects in the metro resurfacing region this week. The following major street project is scheduled for the Valley region during the week of 8/14 to 8/20/22, Wednesday, August 17th through Friday, August 26th from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. We will be beginning to cold mill and pave Victory Boulevard from Fallbrook to 405 feet west of Leader. CD 12, West Hills Neighborhood Council, and CD 3, Woodland Hills Warner Center Neighborhood Council, Pavement Preservation Program Fund. During the week of 8/14 to 8/20/22, the Metro region will complete 11 projects for a total of 5 lane miles. And the Valley region will complete 7 projects for 14.64 lane miles. The press release were broadcasted and notifications have been issued. Streets LA has coordinated with the council district offices to assist with the outreach to stakeholders, and we have coordinated with the Los Angeles Department of Transportation for traffic control assistance. This information is also available on our Streets LA website. For additional information or concern, you can reach Mr. Sherrard Nichols at area code 213-847-3200, and that completes my report.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Young, for that report. Any questions for the Bureau of Street Services? Seeing none. Thank you, Mr. Young. Have a good
Thank you. You
weekend.
guys have a great weekend.
Too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, colleagues. Dr. Campos, have we cleared the desk?
Yes, you have.
Great. It is 11:19 on August 12th, and we have officially adjourned today's meeting. We will have a management meeting, so we'll take a 5-minute break and come right back. Thank you, everyone, and have a good weekend.